Harry and Meghan, the dreariest couple in the history of planet Earth.
Word on the royal street is that doors once swung wide for Prince Harry just slammed shut. According to insiders, the Duke quietly approached UK institutions for a multi-million-pound lifeline, only to hear the frostiest no of his life. That single denial has set off alarm bells everywhere from Buckingham corridors to Montecito boardrooms, because it signals something more serious than a cash flow hiccup. It's the moment the monarchy reminded its wayward son that freedom has a price tag, and that the royal credit card is officially canceled. Behind the velvet ropes, borrowing from crown-linked banks requires palace sign-off.
Now, a staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
So a refusal is never just financial, it's an institutional verdict. Sources say Harry's request came after a spike in monthly burn, legal bills, mansion upkeep, and looming tax payments, and was met with a principled no, not even a polite maybe. Royal aides reportedly view the ask as a contradiction. Harry declared independence in 2020, cashed in on global deals, and critiqued the firm, yet now returns cup in hand. Inside Westminster and Windsor alike, the message is blunt.
Let's chat about Meghan Markle. She couldn't be more cringe if she tried.
Once you walk out, you're out. And the institution won't underwrite second thoughts. The Montecito estate looked idyllic on Instagram, a 14.7 million 9-bedroom spread with manicured gardens and a rolling mortgage thought to run well into 7 figures. Add 24/7 private security, estimated at up to £3 million a year, plus property tax, staff salaries, and cross-continental flights. And the Sussex burn rate rivals some mid-sized corporations. Losing the annual sovereign grant stipend stripped away a guaranteed baseline, forcing Harry to cover every personal detail from Archie's tuition to the greenhouse ventilation bill out of pocket. The calculus is brutal. Billionaire lifestyle, entrepreneur income. That $100 million Netflix contract proved more mirage than miracle. Hollywood accountants confirmed the eye-popping headline figure rolled out in stages.
History to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
That's quite a statement. Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point. You know, I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process.
With the first tranche closer to $20 million after production overhead. Spotify's $25 million podcast pact fizzled in mid-2023 after just 12 episodes, leaving executive Bill Simmons publicly calling the Sussexes grifters and leaving millions of dollars in potential bonus payments on the table. Even Harry's memoir Spare, which smashed one-week records at 3.2 million copies on a reported £33 million 4-book deal, still bled half its gross to taxes, agents, and legal protection before a cent landed in the Sussex checking account. In other words, the checks were real, but the disposable income was illusion. Harry's security challenge against the Home Office ended in a stinging 2024 High Court defeat. The judge ruled the decision to downgrade his UK protection neither unlawful nor irrational.
Scuttled his plans. The spare, sure. Let him run around on a battlefield like a chicken with his head cut off. It's what he likes, but the heir...
Slapping the Duke with the vast majority of court costs. Analysts peg the final bill, including appeal fees, at up to £1.5 million, money gone before lawyers even draft invoices for defamation skirmishes brewing on both sides of the Atlantic. Each fresh lawsuit is a magnet for eye-watering retainers, and the Sussex brand now fights on multiple fronts: copyright, privacy, security, and reputation. An Ipsos survey in early April 2025 showed only 25% of Britons still view Harry positively, the steepest drop since Megxit. Days later, an Express poll of 4,500 readers delivered a landslide, 97% calling for Parliament to yank the Duke of Sussex title, echoing chatter of a private member's bill drafted just in case. Inside palace walls, advisors whisper that any official move would electrify the culture war, yet the threat alone drains Harry's remaining soft power. When a royal brand becomes a liability, corporate partners recoil and lenders remember. Rebranded from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever in February, Meghan's lifestyle line sold out its first candle drop but failed to restock on schedule, prompting wobble headlines and investor jitters. On her podcast, the Duchess admitted feeling incredibly lonely building the company, revealing Netflix had stepped in as a passive partner.
And again, you know, you have to question, why wasn't I put through the same risk management board that everybody else was put through, including members of my family?
And you rejected
Assign external capital is now essential even for small batch launches. While season 2 of With Love, Meghan is already filmed, premiere dates drift, and income remains theoretical until products actually ship. Titles open doors, but the institution picks up tabs. Protocol teams, risk assessments, page 6, damage control. Once you sever that pipeline, you negotiate like any Hollywood talent, except the security quote is 10 times higher. Even sympathetic courtiers now reject the half-in, half-out experiment, arguing that confidentiality alone costs more than the loan Harry sought. The denial wasn't petty, it was the firm defending precedent. A monarchy built on clear lines of duty cannot finance private freelancing. In effect, the palace just told the world, we won't guarantee Harry's solvency, invest at your own risk. Option 1 is the corporate keynote circuit. Quick payouts for hour-long speeches, but certain mockery from British tabloids and a further dip in UK goodwill. Option 2 is a low-key philanthropic rebuild. Pick one cause, devote 5 years, and let quiet competence revive credibility. Option 3, quiet rapprochement with King Charles, requires contrition and likely shelving the next tell-all, but it might restore at least security cover, freeing up millions for other debts. Each path carries risk, yet none are as dangerous as standing still while cash reserves evaporate. Financial gurus call it a runway problem. If outflows exceed inflows long enough, even a duke hits the ground. Royal exile isn't new. Ask Edward VIII, who surrendered the crown for love and spent the rest of his life chasing paid magazine interviews and subsidized hotel suites. The Duke of Windsor's twilight years taught courtiers a lesson the firm still cites. Once a senior royal cashes in mystique for market value, the sticker price only falls.
To repeat itself.
Yeah, I don't want history to repeat itself. I think there's a lot of other people out there, the majority, that also don't want history to repeat itself.
Princess Margaret, stripped of sovereign purse after her Caribbean villa escapades, quietly sold family heirlooms to cover upkeep. Prince Andrew's grim trajectory shows how fast patronages evaporate once controversy outweighs cachet. Harry's saga, rooted in empathy, framed by mental health advocacy, sits miles above those scandals. History whispers a warning: prestige is a non-renewable resource. Strategists close to the couple are spitballing hybrid solutions. Meghan could pivot towards scripted television, think prestige dramas where she cameo produces rather than stars, leveraging her saggy card but sparing overexposure. Harry's Invictus Games, already a global feel-good story, might expand into year-round adaptive sports academies.
No longer a working royal.
Sorry?
And you reject that it has nothing to do with the fact that you're no longer a working royal.
Whether I have an official role or not is irrelevant to the security that
Underwritten by health tech giants eager for ESG kudos. A shared Sussex media training bootcamp offering brand-safe storytelling for young activists could monetize their lived experience while nurturing next-gen goodwill. The wild card? A rumored second memoir, this time Meghan's. If handled with grace and a genuine confessional tone, it could reboot empathy. Mishandled, it detonates whatever silken threads still connect Montecito to Windsor. The real shock isn't that Prince Harry needs money. It's that the one institution engineered to shield him has finally stopped the bailouts. The refusal of a simple loan turns the page on an uncomfortable truth. Royal status may open doors, but it doesn't pay the mortgage, settle court fees, or bankroll Hollywood dreams. From Montecito to Westminster, observers now wonder whether this moment marks Harry's downfall or the epiphany that sparks a smarter second act. Because at the end of the day, a prince without a plan is just another celebrity with bills, and the world's sympathy account is dangerously close to empty.